Okay, so this video I'm going to start again, and I created another video beforehand and I didn't like the way it turned out. So I'm going to be dedicating this video to Sifu Karen Armstrong. Now, I always claim that I started at a really early age, so just to make sure Karen does remember me as a little kid, that's who I am, Karen. So do you remember this kid? Used to always be the ball breaker at Sifu Gym School. Anyway, that's who I am, okay? And, alright, so I prepared myself a little bit better this time round, and because the first video I didn't like it, I was rambling too much, and I was making a few mistakes. So this time I got an interview and about 5 videos that I'm going to place under the link, okay? And why do I want to talk about Sifu Karen Armstrong? Well, because this channel's not only talking about me, it's also a historical archive video. And I'm rebuilding the channel. You all know that my last channel got hacked. I had about 15,000 followers, and I lost the plot, didn't want to really build. I got tired of building up, social media, and slowly I'm getting back into it again. And because I teach around in Europe, a lot of times I spend my time talking about my first lineage. And, I do spend a lot of time talking about Sifu Gym and a lot of the instructors and a lot of things they taught me. And, and sometimes I feel it's a shame that my past family don't know this. And I thought, well, I'd like to get it on record and put it on videos. At least there's some sort of track, that they can keep it in historic evidence that, hey, we existed, we were around, and, these people actually helped build what Wing Chun is today. And especially Sifu Jim and Grandmaster Su Shung Tin, they were so important to the history of what Wing Chun is today. And also the people who helped build Wing Chun in Australia. And there will be other videos as well that I'll be doing to talk about my Australian history. There are more instructors that I will talk about, and I think you guys know who I'm talking about. And that's a promise I'll keep. I'm slow, but I will promise to maintain these things. A lot of you guys don't even like me talking about it because I think you guys don't even care about promotions. I think it's important that you guys should be known, not so much for publicity or for money or anything like that, but I think it's important that people should know about you. A lot of my Italian and my French students and people that are in England, they love me here talking about you. A lot of times they even ask me. So, here goes. I'll stop rambling now. So if you check out the first link, it talks about, where Karen comes from and, how she met Sifu Jim and how she helped build, the school in Australia, or the schools in Australia. And I can tell you firsthand, she was a tough cookie. She's very small, about 5'2", just slightly taller than my wife. And my wife's, a hard hitter, and she doesn't even do Wing Chun. Like, I'm scared of her, so I never get in her way. So, and Karen's a lot more tougher than my wife. And Sifu Karen's got a talent that I don't have. She really knows how to present herself well. She probably, I don't know if it was a natural talent or she was involved with marketing or she'd studied in marketing. I was involved in the building trade, so 2 different categories altogether. She helped develop the books, the Wing Chun books as well. She narrated the DVDs, I believe, we're talking about 70s and 80s, all right? So, like, they were way ahead, with presenting Wing Chun. And there was some things that I'd said on the previous video which I cancelled, and I think here I can say it a bit better because now here I'll say it more clearly. That these publications were from the cornerstone of the internationals Academy meetings today as national manager of the International Wing Chun Academy. Karen was primarily responsible for the development, now listen to this, of the Academy's government-accredited training program, the first government-accredited martial art training program in Australasia. Now, that's big news. I don't think any Wing Chun school ever achieved that, right? And that's really big news, guys. I think that was first developed in Adelaide, because I remember we used to go there, like one of the floors, because I think at that time, before the ground floor turned into a restaurant, I believe later, we used to have, in the 70s and the 80s, we used to use the ground floor to do tournaments. I don't know if Karen remembers that or not, or if she was there or not, but we used to do tournaments there, in-house tournaments. And I used to be scared shitless because I was a kid, but I used to attend those, right? And anyway, these accredited training programs for the government, here I stand to be corrected, but Sifu Jim and possibly Karen used to be good friends with the South Australian Premier, Don Dunstan. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Okay, I won't change the video, but if I'm wrong, please correct me. And they, through the political program, were able to get this happening. And you could, if you were outside of Australia, you could get into Australia, become an Australian citizen, and learn to become an instructor and work as an authorized instructor through the Sifu Jim Fung's Wing Chun program. I mean, fuck, that's just was unheard of. I don't know if that's still possible today, right? But that was just amazing. You know, I used to tell my brother that because, you know, I mean, my brother's like in retirement now, but just recently went into retirement because he was in police force and, you know, anti-drug squad and whatever. It's like a senior inspector for the police force. And I said, hey, man, if you ever want to come back to Australia, you can do this, and that. And I believe my brother even saw Sifu Jim before he passed away. But these are some of the accomplishments that she had helped, you know, do. Apart from that, you know, even talking on a technical capacity, you know, she was dynamite. Like, seriously, she was really powerful. Like, she had this incredible stop kick punching, powerful Pun Sao Chi Sao. You know, for those who know me, you know, through my courses online and when I teach, because now I've taught on many levels with security, police forces and whatnot, bouncing, you know, for me to say that, you know, you guys know I'm not bullshitting. So she, you know, she was really, really ahead, and she was pretty lucky, I think, to have met Sifu Jim. But, you know, she certainly didn't waste the opportunity to prove her worth and make it be known, because I think she did a lot for women's Wing Chun. Her and also a couple other women that, you know, I'll probably talk about on another time, another video, because there were a couple of the women that were in the Wing Chun school in Adelaide. But primarily, you know, she really, you know, and it was always impressive because, you know, she was so small when, you know, it's like she packed a punch. And I still won't forget, she used to do these fitness programs, right? Because, you know, I think the term fitness with a purpose was born through Sifu Jim's school. And that was really pumped in the early 80s, possibly. I don't know if it was born, that term was born in the 70s. And she used to do these crazy drills, right? And she can correct me here, I'm pretty sure she used to do like the bicycle, you know, stationary bicycle. Yeah, for me, at that age there, to hear her do that, she used to do high pressure bicycle for 45 minutes non-stop. For me, that was a lot, right? And then after that, she would do this particular abdominal exercise. You put your hands behind your head, lie on the ground, which they probably still do it, and twist your body, you know, from the opposing elbow to the opposing knee. And she would do like 100 each side, or possibly 200 each side. I used to hate that exercise. I thought, no, don't make us do that. That's one exercise I still hate doing today. I still do it, but I hate it. And I never learned to like that exercise. But it was something that used to like really help you with your Wing Chun, believe it or not. Doing this exercise, you know, twisting your body from elbow to the opposing knee. I'm not shitting you. Try doing it. And you really have to force to try and get your elbow to touch the opposing knee. Try it, try it, try it. She used to really push that. And she says, oh, it really helps you with, you know, connecting your body. You know, I used to do it. I hated it, but I still do it today, Karen. Anyway, so having said that, she was like the first woman to get on very important news shows or current affair programs. Current affairs like Ray Martin, and anybody used to follow Australian TV. Ray Martin was like, I think, the biggest news presenter at the time. I don't know if he's still alive or not. Then Darren Hinch, you know, and she demonstrated on those programs. She used to do a lot of live demonstrations with Sifu Jim Fung. And, you know, she was everywhere. She was always promoting women's self-defense. She was everywhere. She really did a great job. And so, you know, and she even went to Hong Kong, demonstrated on Hong Kong television. So, and these things should be recorded for history. I hope I don't ever lose my channel again. Believe it or not, to learn about not losing my channel, I got a professional hacker to teach me how to not lose my channel. So I hope I'm not stupid in doing it twice. I learned a lot about losing on a technological level. I learned a lot about how hackers work. So really tried hard to get back my old channel. I was lucky to have preserved some of my old videos, but I lost a lot of good information out of that. In any case, I will upload this video. I'm trying to think really hard if there's anything I've missed out. I've got nothing negative to say. You know, I'm going to be 58 in July. Think that when you're young, you know, you see things differently, and you probably look at things on a fantastic level, and you don't see things for the normality that they are. And why am I saying that? Because sometimes I remember as a kid I used to look at things much more extravagant than what they are, and therefore, you know, I remember one of the big issues that we used to have at Sifu Jim's school was we had this ego problem, and I'm sure a lot of the instructors there would remember, especially in the 70s, because what was the problem? What was a big problem we used to have there? You know, Sifu Jim came from Yip Man School, and Su Shun Ten was Yip Man's direct student. So, you know, early 70s, we used to bust his balls always about Bruce Lee. And I'm sure he probably got fed up about all this shit, you know, because not because Bruce Lee wasn't a phenomenon, you know, we all loved Bruce Lee and stuff like that, but the Western mind at times couldn't accept the simplicity of doing stuff, right? Now, I remember Sifu Jim telling us, I think maybe Sifu Karen even said to us as well, but I remember specifically Sifu Jim in the early days used to say to us, You know, my Sifu used to teach us just to stand in the stance, do the form, you know, stand in Tansao for a long time. And then after that, after doing the form for, I don't know, I think he said half an hour, could be wrong, we would just do Chun punches for a long time. And I remember a few times that we actually did that. And I'm talking about the early 70s, right? And I remember some guys really complaining about this, right? And so he stopped doing that. And I think Sifu Jim probably had a hard time making this, how do you call it, converting from maybe the way he learned in China and adapting to the Western mentality, because we're all brainwashed by what we see on in the cinemas with Bruce Lee, you know. Of course, I'm a kid, 7 years old when I start. You know, can you imagine what fantasies are going through my head? You know, but now obviously I see things differently. If I see Sifu Karen doing a stop kick with some punches, I look at it with a completely different, you know, different vision. You know, a lot of people will say, "Who gives a shit?" I don't. You know, I see it much more differently. In any case, Karen never sees this. Appreciate you. Lots of love to the Australian family. Hope you're still teaching, and ever come to Europe or to Italy, take you out for a pizza. All right. All the best. Lots of love from my brother as well.